So we're going to start by grouping my x squared and x terms and factor out the coefficient of x squared. In this case it's 1. So I've got 1 times x squared plus 12x, and outside I have negative 7. Now you see this 12? Alright, we're going to take 1/2 of that 12. 1/2 times 12 will give me 6. 6 squared will give me 36. So I go back to my equation. One x squared plus 12x. Alright, I'm going to add 36 from there. But it wasn't there, so I'm going to subtract it as well. And outside I still have my negative 7. So this is like a zero pair, adding 36 and then taking 36 away. We're going to group the first three. So that's going to look like this. 1 x squared plus 12x plus 36, close brackets, positive 1 times negative 36, and my negative 7. These represent a perfect square trinomial. X all squared, 6 all squared, 6x times 2, 12x. So this is 1 bracket x plus 6 squared minus 36 minus 7 is minus 43. So we've taken our equation from standard form, completed the square, and written it as vertex form. We know that's vertex form because by looking at it, we can tell that my axis of symmetry is x equals negative 6. My vertex is negative 6, negative 43. There's a positive 1 outside, so this parabola is opening up. Because it's opening up, it's got a minimum of negative 43 when x equals negative 6. I've got x squared, x, and a number. I'm going to factor out the coefficient of x squared. In this case, it's negative 1, ninja 1. Negative 1, bracket x squared. Positive 6x divided by negative 1, negative 6x. Close brackets. That positive 1 goes outside. See, that's 6. I'm going to do 1/2 times 6, which gives me 3. And I'm going to do 3 squared, which gives me 9. That's the number that goes into my bracket. So I've got equals negative 1 bracket x squared minus 6x. I'm going to add 9, and I'm going to subtract 9, close brackets, plus 1. I'm going to group the first three. So I've got negative 1 x squared minus 6x plus 9, close brackets. I'm going to take negative 1 times negative 9. That's going to give me positive 9 plus 1. Negative 1, brackets. This is a perfect square trinomial. X squared, 3 squared, 3x times 2. X, that sign, 3. Positive 9, positive 1, positive 10. So you see that 9 added and subtracted? That's how I got the 9. The 3 that comes here, make it a habit of putting this in. It makes it a lot easier to check your work at the end. So what did we achieve with this? We've taken our standard form and written it as vertex form. Notice both have the same value of a, negative 1. So this tells me that my axis of symmetry is x equals 3. My vertex is 3, 10. My parabola is opening down, so I have a maximum value of 10 when x equals 3. Before you begin to do anything, make sure it's in order. So I've got x squared, negative 20x, positive 13. I'm going to start by factoring out my coefficient of x squared. So this is 1 brackets x squared minus 20x. That 20, half of 20 is 10. 10 squared is 100. So I'm going to add 100. I'm going to subtract 100. And I still have positive 13 outside. I'm going to group the first 3 and keep them inside. So I've got 1 x squared minus 20x plus 100. Positive 1 times negative 100 and my positive 13. This becomes 1 brackets x minus 10 minus 100 plus 13 minus 87. So what we've achieved there is my axis of symmetry, x equals 10, my vertex 10, negative 87. My parabola is opening up because a is positive, so I've got a minimum value of negative 87 when x equals 10. Alright, so we have y equals x squared plus 3x plus 1. My coefficient of x squared is 1, so I'm going to start off by factoring that out. So I've got 1 bracket x squared plus 3x, and outside I have plus 1. That number in the middle, 3, 1 over 2 times 3, which is really 3 over 1, is 3 over 2. 3 over 2 squared is 9 over 4. 3 squared is 9, 2 squared is 4. That's the quantity we need to add and subtract inside the brackets. So that's going to look like this, equals 1 brackets x squared plus 3x plus 9 over 4 minus 9 over 4, close brackets, plus 1. Alright, we're going to group these three. X squared plus 3x plus 9 over 4, close brackets, positive 1 times negative 9 over 4. So positive times negative is negative. 1 times 9 over 4, 9 over 4. Plus, now this 1, instead of writing it as 1, I'm going to write it as 4 over 4. Because 4 over 4 is the same as 1. With the same denominator, it's easier to combine. 1 brackets x plus, so we use the 9 over 4, 3 over 2 squared, minus 9 over 4 plus 4 over 4, minus 5 over 4. So this tells us that our axis of symmetry is x equals negative 3 over 2. My vertex is negative 3 over 2, negative 5 over 4. My parabola is opening up, so I have a minimum of negative 5 over 4 whenever x is negative 3 over 2. So the coefficient of x squared here is 1. So that's going to look like 1 times x squared minus 1x. And outside I have my negative 2. When I put these extra numbers in, it makes it easier for you to find the number. Watch. 1/2 times 1 is just 1/2. And 1/2 squared is 1 over 4. So this looks like 1 brackets x squared minus 1x plus 1 over 4 minus 1 over 4, close brackets, minus 2. X squared minus 1x plus 1 over 4, close brackets, positive times negative, negative, 1 times 1 over 4, 1 over 4, minus, now you see this 2, it's actually 2 over 1, but instead of 2 over 1, I'm going to write it as 8 over 4, because 8 over 4 is the same as 2 over 1. This is going to give me 1x minus 1 over 2 squared minus 1 over 4 minus 8 over 4 minus 9 over 4. So now I know that my axis of symmetry is x equals 1 over 2. My vertex is 1 over 2, negative 9 over 4. And because my a value is positive, I have a minimum of negative 9 over 4 when x equals 1 over 2. Alright, so I'm going to factor out the coefficient of x squared, which is 3, x squared plus, to get this number, it's basically that over that coefficient. So 2 over 3 x. So this times this would cancel out, giving you the 2x. Alright, we've got to find the number to add and subtract inside the brackets. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to say 1 over 2 times 2 over 3. So 1 over 2 times that fraction. So 1 over 2 times 2 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. And that'll reduce to 1 over 3. So that's my first number. That's the number I normally take and square. So 1 over 3 squared is going to give me 1 over 9. And that's the quantity that gets added and subtracted inside. So this looks like 3 x squared plus 2 over 3x plus 1 over 9 minus 1 over 9, close brackets. I'm going to group those three in the bracket. Positive 3 times negative 3 times 1 over 9. This part factors, brackets x, that sign. So I use the 1 over 9, right? Now we use the other number, 1 over 3. And this reduces to minus 1 over 3. So now I know my parabola is opening up. I know what my axis of symmetry is. I know what my vertex is. So my axis of symmetry is x equals negative 1 over 3. My vertex is negative 1 over 3, negative 1 over 3. That's just a happy coincidence. So that negative 1 over 3 came from here, and this came from there. My parabola is opening up, so I have a minimum of negative 1 over 3 when x equals negative 1 over 3.